Sri Krishna thus narrated in Bhagavad Gita that yoga is to be performed by shutting the perception of eyes, ears, nose, tongue and touch, by focusing the inward vision or the eyes towards the center of the forehead, by equalizing the inward and outward breathing movement of the air through the nostrils, and by submitting the glands, mind, nerves and the muscles towards the God. Sparshan krutva bahirbahyam chakshuha saivantare shall be the yogic activity only if such activity is directed towards moksha and towards Paramatma, that is God. This also means that if any activity is performed for attaining fluffy parts of the body, better strength, extraordinary power or wealth, or for obtaining more pleasure in sex, pride, prestige, and anger, then that activity is not termed as yoga. At another place, Lord Sri Krishna thus narrated that yoga is to be performed by holding the body, head and the neck in unalloyed state as a brahmachari towards a perfection within Paramatma as follows. Samam kayam shirahagrivam dharayan nachalam stiraha samprekshya nasikagram swam visajaha anavalokayan prasantatma vigatah vihi brahmachari vrate stitaha manah samyamya macchittaha yukta asida matparaha. The divine gift of God and is the prime source of life energy. This life energy may be the God himself or the earth, water, heat, air, vacuum, mind, brain and the false ego. If the life energy is the air, we need to inhale it. If the life energy is invisible to the normal eye, we must focus on this life energy through the inner vision or the third eye by exhaling bad air, filling the wrists, by inhaling fresh air and by bringing the palm in the way of the air movement. adjusting the eyelids, focusing inner vision towards the center of the forehead or at the tip of the nose. Inhaling and exhaling breathing process, and the brisk wiggling of wrists should be synchronized in neutral state of equilibrium in the brain, in isolation in a secluded place. Encapsulation of life energy and the YPM Yapas practice will bring oxygenated blood supply to every cell in the body, will smoothen the heartbeat, will prevent obesity, asthma, allergy, arthritis, diabetes, weight loss, weight gain, cancer, will cause the destruction of false desire, false fear, false anger, false pride, and inactivity without drug